Morning, friends. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Calling in from Sausalito, Northern California, coastal Miwok land. I endeavored to try and broadcast from what you can see there. It's down there by the water's edge, but Zoom was not cooperating on my phone, so I came back to my balcony that was down, watching, as I have been all week, the thousands of cormorants, terns, and seagulls, pelicans. It's been quite the aerial nautical display this week. So this week we've been exploring the relationship of self and nature, and how being outside, meditating outside, allows us to both connect with the more than human world and also soften and at times dissolve the sense of self, the boundary, artificial boundary that we create in our minds between ourselves and others. And so this, just to recap, we've explored how we can feel into that sense of interconnection through breath, through the body and the senses, through the sense of knowing and being known, through the heart. Now, love helps soften boundaries. And then today I want to explore how we can see through that artificial constructed sense of self through understanding awareness and the nature of awareness, that really what allows all knowing to happen, allows us to find a different reference point than our egoic mind, than the separate self. So I was thinking about this teaching, and what always comes to mind when I think about resting in awareness in nature, and how that presence of awareness attuned to the natural world often allows the sense of separation to dissolve. And the poem by Li Po is, I think, the quintessential self-dissolving, excuse me, self-dissolving nature poem. So you have to imagine Li Po, who's a Chinese poet, sitting up in the mountains somewhere, as many Chinese hermits did. And he's meditating, or at least very present in awareness, and gazing at the mountains, as you may do, gazing at the hills, or the trees, or the water, or the sky. And he says, the birds vanished into the sky, and the last remaining clouds have faded away. We sit together, the mountain and me, until only the mountain remains. Birds have vanished into the sky, the last remaining clouds have faded away. We sit together, the mountain and me, until only the mountain remains. And so that poem beautifully, for me, points to that quality of presence, awareness, connection, but also the sense of dissolving. And this is sort of you can think of as the stages of awareness, right? We start with being unaware, unmindful, and then we come into presence, to awareness, into the present moment. And then we start to be aware and present with what's here, in this case, the natural world. And that itself is a feat, that we learn how to abide with awareness, present to our senses, to our sense experience. And then, as can happen in the moment or over time, the sense of me as a separate being looking out over there dissolves, as I was pointing to yesterday. That teaching where we see there's no here, no there, no in between. And so at times there's just seeing happening. There's no one, no body, no me here seeing, just seeing. It's just knowing of seeing. It's just awareness, aware of experience, awake to what's here. And in those moments, the reference point of self can soften, drop, dissolve. And it's just pure experience, pure awareness, pure knowing, happening by itself. Quite ordinary, quite profound, quite available. And so it softens that dualistic sense of me observing, and it's just observing happening, knowing happening, awareness revealing. And so we can change the words of the poem, as I like to do, to adapt it to our own particular environment. So we sit together, the trees and me, until only the trees remain. We sit together, the rain and me, until only the rain remains. We sit together, bird song and me, until only the bird song remains. And so less, from this perspective of awareness, less mattering what we're seeing, hearing, sensing, smelling, touching, and more just abiding in the knowing of that, and how the deepening awareness can allow that sense of self or self-referencing to soften, to dissolve momentarily or for periods of time. We get to understand the nature of awareness that's here, present, awake, illuminating, not separate from that which is knowing, not separate from that which is known, happening by itself, selflessly. So let's sit with that presence of awareness. So wherever you are taking your seat, indoors, outdoors, eyes closed, eyes open. Prior to doing anything, prior to trying to get somewhere, meditate, it's just relaxing. Relaxing the body, relaxing the mind, relaxing any effort Seeing how things, phenomena, just being known naturally, effortlessly. Bringing awareness to the soundscape and seeing how sounds, pleasant and unpleasant, nature sounds, human sounds, mechanical sounds, rising, passing, and known quite naturally, quite effortlessly in awareness. Sounds appearing and disappearing. Silence between sounds. No need to try to strain, make any effort, just simply relax and see how awareness functions by itself, knowing, happening by itself. Times there's the sense of listening to sounds, at times the reference point of me listening softens or dissolves. It's just listening, just sounds. And there's an intimacy, a connection with experience. One isn't looking from the outside, but simply immersed within the field of experience, within the field of awareness. Hearing and aware of hearing. You listen to sounds, aware, no inside, no outside. Vibration of sound moving through can find no point where the sound begins, sound ends, and we begin. It's just sound and the knowing. Awareness dissolving any sense of separation. Same way you can be present to sound as the primary orientation of awareness. And of course, awareness has no boundary, so other phenomena naturally known. There's awareness at times of the fire element, temperature, the movement of cool air on the skin, warmth, sunlight. And now the registering, awareness of that happens by itself. Abiding in this receptive, knowing awareness. Where at times of sensations, impressions from the body, touch, pressure, density, lightness, achiness. And just phenomena, sensations known in the space of awareness. Times you may notice a sense of dissolving. It's just experience happening. No outside, no inside, just a flow of sensations, sound, warmth, coolness. Resting in this open quality of awareness. Sometimes noticing the arising of thought, memories, imagined future scenarios. That simple recognition, releasing and reorienting awareness to what's alive here in the field of senses, sensations. Sensing that whatever arises in body, heart, and mind, just more expressions of nature. Just weather patterns moving through in a landscape, moving through around us. Inviting in awareness, receptive, awake. Sensing the nature of awareness itself, open, clear, unobstructed, separate from all that is known, felt, seen, heard, touched. Happening by itself, naturally here, hiding as awareness. And in these last few minutes of the sitting, if you wish, you're outside or oriented to the outside, to Open the eyes, and just include awareness of seeing. Seeing and aware of seeing. And as in the Li Po poem, we sit together, the clouds and me, until only the clouds remain. We sit together, the trees and me, until only the trees remain. We sit together, the ground and me, the sun and me, the birds and me, until only that remains. Feeling how through awareness in nature we can, as it were, lose ourselves, dissolve the sense of rigid boundary or separation. Allowing awareness, presence to be vast, open like the sky. Taking in whatever environment you're in, all the senses. You may notice what's present in your heart. Often as the sense of self softens, dissolves, there's a quality of warmth, love, connection that arises in the heart. You feel free to continue this practice, sitting in awareness, hearing, seeing, open. If you wish to transition, sending out any blessing of gratitude. Gratitude for this community, this Sangha that sits together from all different parts of the world, different time zones, different ecologies. And to continue this practice, explore different ways to tune, cultivate awareness, mindfulness in nature as a way of sensing into being with the natural world. So as you know, these teachings are offered freely, put on dana by myself this week. So feel free. The way the dana system works, in case you don't know, is, well, one is it's a practice of generosity. Buddhist teachings are offered freely, and students are invited to support the teachers, and in this case Awaken the Wild, to put these events on. And so the collection, the dana, the donations are collected each week, and so whoever's teaching that week will receive the dana. So if you wish to donate to a particular teacher, then make sure you do that in the week that they're teaching. And your support is greatly appreciated to help support teachers and teachings. And yes, look forward to seeing, I know some of you are signed up for the year-long Community Nature Meditation program. We're exploring practice each week from the Field Guide to Nature Meditation, my latest book. So if you haven't joined, you can go to awakenthewild.com for more information. And if you wish to study with me personally, there's a few things coming up. One is teaching at Spirit Rock in March on this theme I was exploring today, the nature of awareness. And in May at Esalen, Nature Retreat, Awaken the Wild Retreat. And then I'm also teaching a nature retreat at Spirit Rock at the end of May. I'm not sure if that's full yet, probably. And then a couple of other retreats this year. One's sold out, one's close to selling out. The one in Colorado, I think, still has space in June. And then the Baja retreat at the end of the year. So lovely to be with you this week. Really fun exploring these teachings. And I look forward to seeing you again on the trail.